BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to BodyBags. It's week 178, and I'm your Sunday host, Bourgie86 here again. Welcome back to the Sunday, guys. Today's review is a film from 1990, yes. A lot of interesting things about the 90s, a lot of cool, different types of horror films that came out, but it was kind of like a weak, decade of horror films. There were some good, solid ones that came out of that decade. And this one came out in the beginning of it, and it's a film from Australia also, which I found very intriguing. It's one that I actually never seen before. This was a first time watch for me, and that is Bloodmoon. Yes. I did know that this Artisan DVD back in the day did have this on a US release. This is a Region 2 DVD release of it, which I imported. Looks very solid too. The print and transfer of this looks pretty awesome. But the main plot of this one, we're introduced to our main setting. This film takes place in Australia, of course, and this private Catholic boarding school for girls. That's where this film first takes place. And what ends up happening is this girl and her boyfriend end up going missing, and we see that they were murdered in the beginning of the film, but it ends up the killer ends up hiding their bodies, and it's trying to find out where they are. They went missing, do they run off together, that type of deal. And what ends up happening is we find out that there's this serial killer that's stalking the girls at this school and making it look like two lovers ran away and killing them off, pretty much deal. And the killings go on, and we're introduced to our main character of Mary, who's one of the girls that ends up being targeted by the killer. And we follow her and Kevin, who ends up becoming her boyfriend. They end up falling in love and Justin, and we find out what's going on and the mystery of who the killer is and what's going on with the film. That's all I'm going to give away. I'm going to give you a little bit more about the film and my final thoughts on it without spoiling too much on it. Really interesting film. For one thing, this film has a lot of cool setup. It actually starts out like your basic slasher film in a way, with the killer stalking its victims. But the thing that happens in the middle of the film is very interesting. They reveal the killer in the middle of the film, which could be a little off-putting for some if they're trying to figure out the mystery of it. But I thought it was a cool touch that this film did with its characters and its aspect of then it becomes this psychological thriller, where we follow the serial killer through most of the film and how he plans and how he gets his victims to their lair. I'm not going to tell you who the killer is, but that's what ends up happening in the middle of the film, which I thought was a neat trick in how the director Alec Mills did with the film and the way he brought his vision. Now, with that aspect, this film does have its downfall. If you're looking for a slasher film with a high body count or giant awesome kills, this isn't going to be for you. It has kills in it, but it's very minor, and some of them are off-camera type deals. But I will say that there is one awesome kill in this film, which involves a school desk. That's all I'm going to give away, and it's pretty brutal, and there is some cool effect stuff that happens later on in the film. But it's not really the gory. The kills aren't really the goriest thing about this film. A lot of them are kind of off camera, which is off-putting. But I kind of dwelled into that more because another thing that I did like about this film is its characters. I really like the relationship between Mary and Kevin when they first meet. And another weird, odd thing, though, about them is they're supposed to be Americans in the film, but they talk with their Australian accents, which I did kind of like too, but it's kind of jokingly aside. Mary says that she's from Texas, and she does this Texas accent in the middle of like when she's talking flirting with Kevin type deal, and I thought that was kind of neat, and I actually smiled at that scene. It was kind of funny. And another thing that I really enjoyed was the film is actually beautiful shot. It has a lot of good like nighttime shots where the imagery and the dwelling of the atmosphere of the scenes, especially like these dark nighttime scenes, are actually well lit and well. And it can show because Alec Mills was actually a cameraman and DP before he did directing. This is actually his only second other film that he directed during this time period. But he's mostly known for like being a DP and cameraman. You can tell, and he does good with the shots, especially with the nighttime scenes. It's really well shot and lit. And another plus for this film, other than like the mediocre kills in it, is its film score by legendary Australian composer Brian May, and his score is very awesome and organic and has a lot of vibe and stress and tones to it that are really awesome. And I really enjoy like his scores in general. I like he did Road Games, of course, and I believe he also scored Patrick. He done numerous film scores for various Aussie films. I also believe he also scored Nightmare 4, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but yeah, great late composer Brian May did an amazing job with the film score. It really sets the tones and what's going on within the film, which I really did dig. Other than that, though, it's a decent watch. It's not going to be like the most amazing like film that you ever seen. It's not like amazing slasher film, but it's a decent one from a time period where a lot of these films were coming out, and it shows like a delve into exploitation films with like its cinematography and the locations that they use are really well done and beautiful looking, especially with the elegance of like the boarding school. I really like those nighttime scenes. They did it for me with this one. So yeah, if you're into slashers and you don't mind like a film without a high body count and it has a little more like of a psychological aspect, I say check out Bloodmoon. It was a fun watch. If I had to rate it, I'm just going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's not a terrible film, but it's has its problems. It's a good watch though, so I do recommend everyone check out Bloodmoon. Hopefully it does get another release in the States someday for like all like the usual people that don't have like a region free player like I do. But hopefully, because since Artisan did put it out, maybe like Vestron would put it out on like their line. So yeah, it's a cool, fun little film. I did like the cast and the characters. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10 for Bloodmoon. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Stay tuned for next week on BodyBags, which is going to be our next theme week. And it's a very exciting one. We're actually doing animated horror films, yes. What we're going to be doing is like a mixture of different types of animated films. Some more kid-friendly and more in the sense of other ones not being so kid-friendly. So look out for that. I'm excited. I already know what my hosts are doing for reviews. So stay tuned for that, guys. And as always, see you then. Peace out.